I remember when I was 14 years old, I would always be very picky about the things that I wore. These pants are not Adidas. I don't want to wear them. Or this sweatshirt, it's not Nike, so it's not stylish. I would always judge a piece of clothing based on its brand, rather than its cut or its quality. However, as I grew older and more mature, I got past judging clothing based on how good the brand was. But instead, I was influenced by a lot of my friends, just like most teenagers are nowadays. I liked what they wore. It looked fashionable and trendy at the same time. And so I asked where they got their clothes from. They said, the thrift store. And in my head I thought, the thrift store? What is that? That was the first time that I've heard of it. Simply put it, thrifting means shopping at a thrift store, garage sale, or flea market, where you'll find gently used items at a reduced price. Thrifting became a thing back in 1897 during the Salvage Brigade, where residents walked around the neighborhood gathering clothing donations, and in return they gave back food and a place to stay. Thrifting became popular in 2008 during the stock market crash. Because of hard times, people no longer bragged about how expensive their clothes were, but instead they bragged about how cheap they can buy them for. Less than 100 years ago in the 1950s, clothing used to be a very big investment. People spent about 20% of their income on clothes. They would only buy a couple pieces per year and then take extremely good care of them so that they lasted as long as possible. Today, the opposite is true. The fashion industry is moving faster than ever. Instead of putting out new clothes 4 times a year like they usually do, they are now putting out new clothes every single week. The amount of clothing produced each year has drastically increased, while both clothing prices and quality has all gone down. We are buying 4 times as much clothing as before, but are spending way less because the clothes that we buy either rip easily or it eventually goes out of style, or even both. So we throw them away and then buy something new. Did you know that the fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the whole entire planet, having the oil industry as first? 20% of the world's water pollution is caused by textile processing. You may not believe me when I say this, but that pair of jeans you may be wearing right now took about 1,800 gallons of water to make. The production process of making 1 pair of jeans also generated greenhouse gases equivalent to driving over 80 miles. Similar numbers apply to t-shirts, skirts, and most other articles of clothing. This is much more energy and water intensive than what is commonly believed. By switching to second-hand shopping, the money you spend won't go towards supporting an industry that is characterized by water and air pollution. Another important benefit of thrifting is that you are keeping that piece of clothing from being wasted. 1 less piece goes into the landfills. Here in North America, we throw away about 10 million tons of clothing every single year, which averages about 40 kilograms per person. Studies have shown that 60% of the clothes made worldwide are made from synthetic materials such as nylon, polyester, or acrylics. In other words, plastic. When thrown away, they often sit in landfills for hundreds of years, and if not, forever. Through thrifting, you keep the resources invested in all of these clothing items from going to waste. I still remember the first time I went thrifting with my friends. We took the bus to many local thrift stores and each found many great and fashionable items to add to our own clothing collection. Teenagers nowadays really love that 90s retro style, such as baggy jeans, flannel shirts, and combat boots. And the best place to find that category of clothing is, you guessed it, the thrift store. You can also donate any clothing you've grown out of or no longer want instead of throwing them away. As you can see, I am very tall. Growing up, I have always grown out of a lot of the clothing that I bought. So instead of throwing them away, I would either give them to my younger cousin or donate them so that other people can wear them too. Simply switching to thrifting isn't going to completely solve all of the problems within the fashion and textile industry, but it is one way we can work to minimize our carbon footprints and make small steps towards a better future. Climate change is impacting us humans in many ways. It threatens the essential ingredients of good health, clean air, safe drinking water, and nutritious food supply. And it has the potential to undermine decades of progress in global health. The awareness about the need for a healthier, greener environment void of pollutants have now become vital. But it is not enough to just be aware of the solutions. It is now just as important to take action and implement these solutions. Thrifting is a vote for fashion. But beyond fashion, it is a vote for change, a vote for the climate. It offers us a less expensive and fashionable way to create a better future for us all. Today, I want all of you to go check out your local thrift stores and let out your inner sense of fashion, knowing fully well that with every purchase you make, Mother Nature and our climate will thank you for it.